Welcome to
all right. Better believe it. All right. Are you a better for watching Better Believe It? You are. You are. You can set your money on fire. That's what we like to say. Or you can set $100 on fire, or you can hand it to me. I'll make sure that it's not counterfeit with Brigham, and Brig will give it to Geno, and Geno knows what to do with your $100 each week. Here we are. It is week 3 of the NFL season. It's already here, and 2 weeks has been fucking wild. Brig, before we get started and say anything ridiculous, why don't you let everybody know what we're doing here?
Yes, this is Welcome to Better Believe It. I'm Brigham Avery for Sam Betesh and Geno Bisconte. Anything said on Brigham Avery Productions YouTube channel does not reflect the opinions of anyone normal, decent, or kind in this world, especially those made by Geno. Just kidding. We love you, Sam. We love you, Geno. This is going to be a wonderful show. Buckle up, everybody. Here we go. Enjoy. Sam, the floor is yours. I just need to say one thing, guys.
Yes.
As this is my page, that last weekend was the most painful I have ever experienced as far as a double dose, Fokker, a double dose. The Irish and the Bears getting kicked in the testicles collectively. So, Sam, Geno, the floor is yours. And I'm just a little slow this week because of that. But take it away, Betesh.
Well, I'll say this much. It's always important to remind people the difference between an extra point in college and in the NFL. The NFL moved the extra point back. We've got a 33-yard kick. And in college, that ball is still right there on the 2-yard line for the extra point. And so when extra points are missed in college and cost you not only money, but tears and years off your life.
It's that much more inexcusable, Sam. That much more inexcusable. God.
You know how bad
you see how they put Tyler Buckner? I felt bad for him. And he chose to put on that goddamn green fucking vest. Put the green vest on. It's like...
It's just, it really does boggle the mind that happens the way that it did. And what a painful end for Notre Dame in a great game, by the way, a great college football game. But we are going to avoid college football here in regards to the bets that we're going to make for exactly that. How many times do you get screwed late in college football when it comes to betting? It is so difficult and painful, but we're going to stay away from that. Instead, we're going to continue to ride the very steady ship of Geno Bisconte. Geno, not only are you a talented comedian, you've also protected our $100 very nicely here. If we started with $100 when we began this show, I can only tell you that even your wife would be happy with the investment that you made in watching Better Believe It. Geno, anything you want to say about, by the way, Geno, if you didn't tell by the headband, Geno is a Chargers fan. And right now he would have is he going to be the Super Bowl? Is he the MVP favorite right now, Geno? I mean, 2-0 Chargers are looking pretty damn good after Monday night.
Let me tell you 3 futures. Oh, I don't know why I'm doing. Let me tell you 3 futures we gave you that we're sitting on right now. The over on the Chargers, 0 losses. The over on the Colts, 0 losses. The under on the Saints, 0 wins. And we'll touch more upon what you can do with that money, because there's nothing like gambling money that you don't have that you imagine you're going to take from Vegas in January. Then January shows up like, can I see episode 10 again?
Were they 2-0? We do want to remind everyone, the Saints were also 2-0 last season. They were one of the 2-0 teams last season, the Saints. So it does change. It can change, but we are going to touch on a few 2-0 things that we just can't even believe are here in front of us at the moment. We're going to avoid Geno's Chargers the rest of the way, because betting on your own team, I don't even want to call it kissing your sister. It's worse than that. Betting on your own team.
There's nothing worse than kissing Briggs' sister.
Nothing. It's awful. It's awful. For years.
You don't tell them you did it, Briggs. You don't.
Wait, God.
I don't
I'm going to give the double laugh for that one.
Geno Bisconte.
Now, if you want to laugh at Geno, you also should laugh at what's happening in Miami as we take a look at Thursday Night Football. Now, this looks like an enticing game to take a look at, all right? This is a lot of points in the NFL. Then again, this is what the Browns had last week against the Ravens, and you could have basically doubled this spread and still covered. So this is rough. But, Geno, when we look at something like this, it is enticing. It's the one when you're getting double digits in the NFL, it does make you look at that team with the plus by its name and think, wow, this is possible. I don't know. The Dolphins have been a catastrophe. You could say that Tua looked good through 3 quarters last week, obviously throws an interception to end that game. But is there an opportunity here? Is there something in the numbers to pick apart when we've got Thursday night football, a game that looks incredibly lopsided, but maybe the spread helps us peek our head above the water here? What do you think?
Okay, now here's where this is why there are certain games that I don't want to touch. Okay, and the NFL knows the Thursday night game. I think the players love it, they hate it, but they know that you will bet on it. And so many times you're going to fall out of the gate. People are playing on short rest. It's hard to predict. Buffalo should kill Miami, right? They're coming off 4 days rest. How much are they going to have in the tank? And you know what I hate? And your boyfriend Colin says it all the time. Oh, desperate teams. And I love them. Desperate teams, whenever they're embarrassed, they play well. Okay, Miami wasn't really embarrassed, but are they desperate? Hell yeah, they're 2-0. But it's one of those things you only remember when you're right. I don't touch this game. Maybe you take it in our elimination pool, which we'll get to.
Interesting.
We're not in it. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We nailed it twice, and we got lucky once, but we're still in it. You understand? So this is a game I'm not gambling on. I love the Bills in this game. Maybe if you're doing anything, you throw it on the money line. No, because you don't want to $800 go by.
I got a question for the professor. Let me say something.
Yes,
how can you say that? And I put this in the text chain before, gentlemen. When you see the body language of Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins coach, he has lost that locker room. There is no respect. He is the Rodney Dangerfield of sideline dwellers in the NFL right now. So I feel as though he's a dead man walking. And when you watch him and you see him and you look at the bitch that he is, forget it. How can you? I feel. Does that give you any indication to love the Bills more? And do the Bills have something to prove this year because they see Kansas City is down, and this is their chance after so many years of being the Buffalo bridesmaid to take notice on national television once again? I'm not. I just wonder if
hey,
that
Brig,
helps.
Brig, real fast. What's Miami's record? Excuse me. What's Notre Dame's record?
0-2.
What did you tell us 2 weeks ago?
About Notre Dame. I thought. You agree? Listen,
watch this.
Professor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Name 3 players on the Bills defense.
Hamlin, DeMar Hamlin.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
Oh, watch this. Name 3 players on the Bills defense that you don't know because they recreated them as lizard people after they cost me a Super Bowl win against the Bengals when the guy almost died from the vaccine. Sorry, I always forget to phrase that properly. Suck my dick, YouTube.
Unbelievable.
He literally stammered through that. Milano, you call yourself an Italian? Matt Milano? Okay, you call yourself an Italian? Joey Bosa? Now watch this. Now name 1. But again, tell me your story. I'm mad. I lost money on Notre Dame. Go on.
Look, the Notre Dame thing was brutal for all of us because we're so close with Briggs. So we knew that was just a painful Saturday for Briggs sitting through every moment of that game. But Geno, I love what you said here because sometimes
about the Jews,
sometimes
OJ was innocent. Innocent OJ.
Sometimes what is just as important about telling people what to do with their money, it's telling them what not to do with their money. And this is a game that, again, could entice you to lay the $100, take the points on the Bills, or frankly, take the points with the Dolphins, or love what you saw the Bills do when they smashed the Jets. But you nailed it. 4 days is a different story. There's nothing to prove here for the Bills. This is just get a win, move on, get your rest, and see you later. They may not cover. And the Dolphins with 11.5, it starts to look interesting, but we all know they could also lose by 30. The Dolphins have been the greatest, to your point, Brig, dumpster fire, catastrophe, disaster in this league this season. If you just had a camera on Tyreek Hill when he is both on the field and off and just watched him, you would think that the Dolphins disbanded and joined another league. It is that bad in Miami. And by the way, when you talk about McDaniel being the guy that's wearing it on his face, I think, yes, McDaniel's the guy that's going to get the fall for this, but this has to be that the locker room cannot believe that organizationally they are behind Tua the way that they are.
I will tell you guys one thing.
$50 million invested in this guy for this season. That's laughable.
If the Dolphins did not have the tradition they had in South Florida, if they hadn't been there since 1960, they would be the Chargers. They would be looking to move that franchise because ownership, the distractions there, it is just a collective. It's not working anymore. The 80s were glamour for them. It worked a little bit of the 90s, but it seems that would be the new Chargers. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, look, I love it. I love that we said take this and keep your money in your pocket, save it for Sunday. There's also a rumor that the three of us are going to be in the same room watching football on Sunday, which is a huge bonus to all of you because we collectively, our brains get bigger when they are together. It actually happens. Even though Briggs still trying to lift his head all the way up with our brain here.
It's
with
a low
Gino.
rider Wednesday. Low rider Wednesday.
And congrats to the Cubs. Let's count the positives here. Congrats to the Cubs who are officially in the most elite.
They were the first team in, right?
No, we could talk about the Phils. The most elite postseason in the major sports is baseball. So anytime a team, I want to remind everyone, anytime your team is upset in Major League Baseball in the playoffs, just understand this is not the NBA. This is not the NHL. Every team does not get in. You are playing an elite opponent in the postseason in baseball immediately, wild card or not. Wild card, divisional, that is an elite team that over the course of 162 games proved that they were worthy of being there. All right, that's my rant.
You guys have special memories of the Phillies clinching the NL East? Do you have a special of 1980 Bisconte as a kid, or Sam, you in 1993 perhaps? I remember everything, so I don't know what's special, like division clinching, because that's nice because you're still in school. It could be an afternoon game, or, if your parents stay up late, whatever. I don't know.
What's amazing, I'll say one thing. If you had money, by the way, I'm glad we weren't on Monday this week because I would have said that the bet to make this week in baseball would have been the day after the Phillies clinch, take the Dodgers on the money line, whatever it costs, because a team coming off a win where they clinch, drink champagne and celebrate all night when it's a real opponent who needs the win the next day, with Shohei Ohtani on the mound. I mean, that was a lock, and there it was at 4-0. And credit to my cousin, Michael Shabe, who live bet down 4-0 plus 550, and the Phils came back to win when Shohei came out of the game.
He had a no-hitter. He had a no-hitter when they took him out.
Damn.
But that's the one guy I said to my brother, another Philly fan, I'm like, I could see you taking him out. We hate the pitch count. We hate that bullshit. What is my camera? Oh, there it is. It was, we hate but this is a guy that it's like your Babe Ruth. He plays like everyone has a Babe Ruth. You could lose him. You lose a guy in your lineup every day. Get him the fuck out. Get him the fuck out, especially as a Phillies fan. Thanks for getting him the fuck out. I didn't want to get no hit.
No way.
You bet on any team, gentlemen. In that case, you bet on the Phillies to come back 4 down because those guys. I'll tell you what.
You're right.
Harper and Schwarber are fucking gamers. I would not bet against them. I'm not betting against them in this postseason either. I don't want to get too much off track.
At some point, you've got to take out the MVP runner-up off the mound. You've got to take the MVP runner. And I'm trying to think. During the preseason, you can go back and look. Who said, "Why don't you take a flyer on this guy for MVP?" I think it was me and these two guys. It was me and him, and trying to think. It was us three, and
I'll tell you what. They're setting him up like a Baumgartner. They view him that way. That's why the odds are they think he's going to be a Baumgartner, like the Giants had in 14 and 12 and 10.
Yeah, that's what everyone's saying. He's the next Baumgartner.
He very well
They're
could
all saying
be.
He's the next Baumgartner
in the postseason. Bisconte. That's all I'm saying. Yes,
he looks just like him. Yeah, the next Babe, and the one and only Shohei. By the way, I'm going to check him out tonight. I wish I was there last night. I'll be at Dodger Stadium tonight to see the Phillies potentially sweep the Dodgers on the season series. And just one note on the Dodgers: they got swept by the Brewers this season, and at best they'll win one game against the Phillies. And I don't know the Cubs season series.
The Cubs beat their ass, Sam. They beat them real bad. They lost, and here's the thing: after losing the first 2 games in Madison, Ohtani's home country, they fucking have come back and they won the season. So they started 0-2, but they've come back. So the Dodgers, yes, they don't play very well to higher competition.
That's amazing. All right. Well, let's okay. So we spent time with Thursday Night Football. We have not spent your $100 yet. So let's now turn our attention to a game that, by the way, doesn't happen very often, but I can say this much: Monday Night Football in a runaway looks like the game of the week. And by the way, credit to ESPN, ABC. They don't get it often. Sunday night finds a way to get the best game week in and week out. And look at this. I mean, Lions and Ravens, a Super Bowl preview is something you'll hear a lot, but the Lions and the Ravens are impressive teams at this point in the season through 2 weeks, and to see them against each other on Monday night is going to be pretty special here, even though I'll remind everyone the last time we saw these two in Baltimore, the Lions got walloped by the Ravens. It was not close from Jump Street, but Geno, here's an opportunity. What do we want to do Monday night with this game?
I'm telling you right now, and this is a perfect time to point out, I do Geno's picks every week. And last week, I was fortunate enough to be in a studio. I will show you the link. I was in
It looked great, dude. You look fucking awesome.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Brick and mortar buildings. You need brick. Watch this. I'm going to share the link right now if you want to show it. But I was bouncing this off. This is me in the Riv TV studios. So good. Absolutely so good. It's on my Rumble, ladies and gentlemen. You could share it. It's in there.
I'm going to get it.
Oh, take your time. But I went 3-1 against the spread, and I was laughing about this because I'm 5-3 on the season. But again,
awesome.
Look at that.
Let me explain these picks, and then I'll read you my Ravens pick, which is a rough draft, but I love it.
That's just your appearance on Spike TV with it fucking Photoshop, Biscotti. All that is. God damn it.
It looks amazing. This looks amazing. This looks amazing. And I see you must have been talking about the Dolphins there. I see by the image, right? By the dumpster fire. Yeah.
Oh, I had to.
You had to get cute. You had to get cute. You had to get cute.
Hold on. You get 2 ads, milks to avoid. We all need to know that. But here's the thing. The beauty of these picks, and we were laughing at it. Look at that. Oh, my God. Look at this. Hold on.
That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Look at this guy.
Oh, yeah. Yes. It's Bisconte is burning, not Rome is burning. Look at that. Oh,
that is amazing. Geno looks good.
Yeah.
Hi, and welcome to Geno's Picks, where Daddy...
You got to pay for the good stuff. Now,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
The beauty of Brig, hello.
That's all right. That's all right. Brig, it's how's that even possible?
Picks, and this is important, and then I'll get to this, is I went 3-1 against the spread. And if I were to tell you I'm a genius, you should laugh in my face, because we got 2 of those covers where the Bengals backdooring it and the Bucks who should have never blown the cover, and after they did, should have never got the cover back. You said it perfectly. I had the Bucks getting 2.5 after they missed a field goal, after they had a punt block. The Texans should have just at the end of the game had Chubb run it down to the 1, run out the clock, kick a field goal, and the Texans win by 2, and the Bucks cover by a hook. But God forbid gambling. This one's great. They let you cover. They went for it. They scored the touchdown so quickly, and somehow, after Egbuka misses that pass on an incredible scramble and pass by Mayfield says, "Why don't I just do the incredible scramble?
Why don't I just take 15 yards on 4th and 10? The biggest play of the game is Baker with his feet. And as a Texans bettor that night, just in the weekly pool that I do, -2.5 with Houston, I love that Chubb goes in the end zone there, because I'm thinking there's no way they're going to go in the end zone, because the play here is milk the clock, kick the field goal, and win by 2. No one, right? If you're D'Amico Ryans, you don't give a shit that Sam Betesh has -2.5. You don't care. You want to win the game. And the chance to win the game there was milk the clock, kick the field goal, and go to 1-1 instead of 0-2. And no, Chubb goes in, which I'm cheering for in the moment, but I'm also thinking the one guy in this league, by the way, you think about Stafford or Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Mahomes, frankly, you think about that for guys in the fourth quarter who win games. You know who's won more games in this league than anyone over the last 5 seasons when it comes to that situation?
I do now. They showed it. Fucking
Baker Mayfield. They show the stat. He's got 22 of those ones. Add another one. He's now got 23. Baker Mayfield is on another planet when it comes to doing exactly what he did, ripping the Texans' heart out and stealing that game. And my favorite part, other than his 15-yard run, is what they did without calling a timeout at the end of that game. 18-7, 17, 16, 15, just casually run their play with White into the end zone there. That was ridiculous.
It was incredible. And by the way, Geno's pick said it perfectly. In that video, I took the Bucks, but the joke was, and this is my point, the jokes make the pick. Okay. And I've always said, you base it on by the time you get to week 15, if I'm having a great year, bet with me. If the jokes are having a bad year, bet against me. You know what I mean? But I even said, I'm like, why are we betting on all these weird names? I said, let's go with American names like Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and Bucky Irving. Damn if they don't cover. That said, I'm going to just give you a light teaser on this game. I'll give you the opening line. Ravens are giving 4 and a hook to the Lions in Baltimore. Hey, you ready? You might want to sit down, Brig. Hey, how great a game did Jared Goff have last week, throwing for 5 TDs and 334 yards against the Bears? I'll tell you, so good you forgot how bad he stunk in week 1 against the Packers, and Jordan Love throwing a meaningless TD. I could go on, but the bottom line is, I said, you'll notice I didn't say against Caleb Williams and the Bears, because considering the way Williams plays in Detroit, Brig, I think he's working for them. The bottom line is the Ravens are really good, 24-2 against 24-2 against NFC teams, and that will hold up unless by Monday night the Bears are in the XFL. I love the Ravens in this game. I will lay the 5.
I tell you, Bisconte, the jokes make the pick stick. If the joke matches and is hilarious,
God, that's
the jokes make gotta make a hat. The jokes make the pick stick. Geno Bisconte. And by the way, yeah, COVID is just the flu with the better. Oh my God, where have I heard that? Here's the deal. I will say this, the Lions offensive line, they're going to be caught up to quality teams will make the Detroit Lions look bad consistently, gentlemen, in 2024. The way the Packers did in week 1, the way the Ravens are going to do on national television because they're just as compopulated. First-year offensive coordinator, first-year DC, and that just tells you how bad the Bears suck. Sam,
amazing. I love it. All right, so
like
we're done.
A Bears fan. Oh wait,
yeah. Well, guess what? You should be better as a Bears fan, and they were absolutely brutal in that game. And the Lions looked like all of their problems were gone. But we're going to see this again. What an opponent Monday night! Loving that game. And now I want to turn our attention to something that Geno and I and all of us have really been paying attention to. When you look at 2-0 and 0-2 in this league, it's the most fun time of the year to take a look at the 2-0 teams and the 0-2 teams. I think this is the biggest separator this week right here. Separates who's for real and who isn't, because you got a lot of 2-0 teams that end up missing the playoffs, and you got a lot of 0-2 teams that end up making the playoffs. Every year, you've got a surprise in both of those directions. So this is the week where you find out what's going on. The Saints were 2-0 last season. They lost week 3. We saw what happened after that. So things can happen here. But right now, when we get to say it, when the AFC West looks so upside down that not only are the Chiefs not in first place, they're in last without a win.
Come on,
and the Chargers.
I looked at enough porn today. Say it again.
Exactly, but I'm going to say it again. They're 0-2 at the bottom of the AFC West. And not only that, Geno, not only that, the 2-0 Chargers aren't just 2 clear of the Chiefs. They've got a tiebreak at the moment. Of course, yes, there'll be a rubber match. But the fact that right now the Chargers are technically 2.5 up on the Chiefs of the division is wild. So I would argue there's nothing more surprising than the 2-0, the 0-2 Chiefs at this moment in time. However, maybe this is the best chance you've got to make money on the Chiefs. Is this the time? Is this the time to take the Chiefs? Take a flyer on the Chiefs. They've been in the Super Bowl. Think about this. Over the course of Mahomes' career, he has lost in overtime in the AFC Championship game twice, and every other season he's been in the Super Bowl. Let's let that sit in a little bit. Let's let that settle in. Patrick Mahomes has lost in overtime in the AFC Championship to Tom Brady and to Joe Burrow. And every other season, he's in the fucking Super Bowl. I mean, that is a terrifying thing to say. But for the first time in his professional career, he's 0-2. So, Geno, do we expect to see the Bills right back where when the season started we expected them to be, which was in the Super Bowl again? It's at plus 700. You're not going to get a better number on the Chiefs winning the AFC than you are right now. What does this look like when you see this list, when you see the Chiefs, when you consider 0-2, what screams to you, here's an opportunity to make money?
I can give you a better number. You could be on the Colts to win 7.5 games this year.
Wow.
And you could be on the Colts to win the 7.5 games this year and be sitting on 2 wins with 15 left. You could be sitting, you are if you go with better believe it. If you took the Colts with our pick, right now they have to win 1/3 of their games for you to make that money. So why don't we gamble that money from January right now?
A little sprinkle.
Are you saying you don't want to touch this, Bisconte? Are you not touching?
No. He's actually circling with a pencil. Colts plus 2,800, which I love.
Are you kidding? I'm taking my big black Sharpie marker and I'm going to circle the Colts, and I'm going to tell you, as Maya Angelou once said, "What's up with the Jew?" I'm kidding. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And if you don't believe who the Chiefs are yet, then you didn't see. I hate Bills fan, cover your ears. Squib kick. It started with the squib kick that never was.
Amazing.
And they came back and won that game. They got break after break, and everyone's like, oh, they get the calls. you have to be in position to get the calls. And
Yes.
suddenly the calls they're getting aren't even working. Eagles are in the end zone. They review it. You see it. They don't give them that. Eagles blow coverage, but it doesn't matter because Kelsey's lateraling the ball away. Same thing against the Chargers. They can't finish. This is a team that when they got blown out by the Eagles in the Super Bowl, no one who put up with all their games was surprised. So what better time than Vegas to say, we're giving you money. You don't want that money. This is a team that has, this is a team, and you can argue, oh, they lost to the Eagles and Chargers, arguably the two best teams in football. Fuck you. Don't jinx his Eagles and my Chargers. But I'm telling you, you're telling me the Colts, who are sitting at 2-0, and I'll say it again. Where have you been? Because yes, this is fueled by the fact that you're already sitting on that over bet, the winless Saints under bet, the over on the Bolts, and you don't have the money to throw on the currently first place Colts team, who when the initial odds were put out, thought Anthony Richardson was going to be the quarterback. When the initial odds were put out, you didn't realize Daniel Diamond, who said that, I don't know, is this good. And let me tell you, you take this money, you put down the bet, and the only person doing less work than you is the Colts punter because he must be sitting near Anthony Richardson because neither one has been asked to go on the field yet. And I don't know that either one will if Danny Dimes keeps playing like this. You get that big black punishing Sharpie marker and you put it to work on the Colts.
I want to say something here about the Colts, by the way. In the history of this great game, there has never been a team to go 2 games without a punt. Think about the quarterbacks in this league. Think about the quarterbacks in this league. So
the 99 Rams, that never happened with the 99 Rams. The greatest
zero punts through the first 2 games. Remember it always that Daniel Jones ran the offense that didn't punt once through 2 games, and that's the end of the list. That's fucking remarkable, but it happens.
By the way, 99 Rams is a porno that Sammy made in college.
It's my favorite. It's the Santa Cruz Cruiser, Betesh.
Yes, me and Week Zero. Yes.
I spent right? You like that? I got one thing, Bisconte, because I have to get your attention by being witty. Here's the deal. Don't you give the eyeball test to the first 2 games and see how the Chiefs lost to Philly and to the Chargers? Because they could have won arguably both games.
We just did. Go on.
I know, but so that doesn't they get no there's no credence or no saving grace in the fact that those 2 games there's not a slow descent. You're saying it's an absolute drop to the bottomless pit.
No, I said it was a slow descent. I went back to the Squib King. I went back to the Super Bowl. I went back to, do you want to talk about Thanksgiving when the Raiders had them beat and some of the weirdest calls I'd ever seen occur?
No, they snapped the ball. They snapped the ball to the quarterback before he was ready. It was horrible.
I'm not saying
and
that
then
they
changed the call. This is the team that when they got blown out, when they got blown out in the Super Bowl, I don't know a single AFC West fan. Shout out my good friend Joey Dago, Raider fan. None of us were surprised. We were joyfully thrilled. Go on.
Yes, but what I'm saying now is this an absolute drop to the bottom? Do they lose every game, or is it because I see winnable games against the Giants and the Jaguars? I'm just trying to sprinkle it a little bit, trying to doubt you a little bit because nobody can, buddy. You're the best at this. But I didn't know if that was anything that was a formidable reality, is if they go straight down or just a slower descent. Because they didn't look that awful against the Eagles. They didn't look that awful against the Chargers, but they lost. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, but they looked so unchiefly. We were talking about that lateral. That's all you can call it. By Kelsey at the goal line. That's awful. You know what I mean? The Chargers just constantly frustrating. Like Mahomes, like that flip pass where his pinky toe was back over the line. It's like that might have been the end of an era. It's like, to quote fucking Walter, the guy, Breaking Bad, he can't keep getting away with this. Your time has come, Patrick.
There you go.
You're a wonderful young man, but you're saddled with a lot of people, washed up people. I'm telling you, whatchamacallit, Xavier Worthy is banged up. He doesn't have a lot of confidence to begin with. He's playing with his shoulder all banged. That was a joke in my video last week. Apparently, they're seeing other people because he took out Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce. I don't have time for this. You bring up a great point, but you cannot convince me otherwise. I'm not saying you're wrong, Brig. saying you cannot convince me otherwise.
I'm going to say I'm going to say you're wrong. And here's the difference. So 3 seasons ago, Minnesota won every one possession game and they ended up as a 2 seed, and Daniel Jones beat them in the playoffs. Okay. At home. And that team had won 1 possession games. And you said, all right, that's a team that's likely not going to do that again the next season. And you're right. It didn't happen the next season that way for Minnesota. But Minnesota is not Kansas City. Kansas City didn't happen to win 1 possession games. Kansas City made a living out of winning 1 possession games because they were coached better than everyone else. They put themselves in position to be in a close game and to make the plays at the end, either to capitalize on a mistake that you made or to make that play. If you look at what happened this season, Justin Herbert made a play with his feet to end the game and not get the ball to Mahomes. And the Chiefs have been brilliant at stopping that to get the ball to the Mahomes and get the ball to the offense in Kansas City so that they can come back and tear your heart out and win that game. And it did not happen in week 1 in Brazil. And then in week 2, not only does Kelsey lateral the ball to Makuba, Simmons, their rookie offensive lineman, makes an unbelievable play to keep Makuba out of the end zone, by the way. Makuba was gone for a pick 6, and all of a sudden, Simmons, a lineman, comes out of nowhere and torpedoes him. That was that was such a Chiefs play. You even said in that moment, wow, in this horrible moment for the Chiefs, they're going to save this by stopping the Eagles. But on 3rd down, when Hurts hadn't thrown a ball for over 6 yards all day, Hurts throws a Russell Wilson moon ball and Devontae Smith makes the play. And that's the difference. I want to look at that because these are plays that the Chiefs, when they are running at peak performance, those are stops that they make. They don't allow Herbert to get that first down, and there's no way they allowed the Eagles to go up 2 scores on them in that situation after that interception. And that's the difference.
Yes, I can see that happening against quality coaches and quality teams, Sam, like the Eagles, like the Chargers with Khaki. But are they going to be that lucky against the Jets? I think they still beat teams like Jacksonville and the Giants. I still think they're good enough. But what you're saying,
we're talking about winning the AFC. We're talking about winning the AFC, Briggs. So again, are they going to get blown? I don't think they're going to get buried in the division, but of course we can now see them losing it. I don't think they're going to be out of playoff contention, but we can see a scenario in which they don't make it. So, and the other thing to love about what you said about Indy, Geno, before we move on to our survivor pick, you said we are looking good on the over on Indy. I would also say we're going to sprinkle a little on winning the AFC. Let's take a look also, and I don't have it here, but the AFC South odds, because Houston
is dog
looks
shit,
fucking inept right now. I can't believe how bad Houston looks.
They're going out of their way to lose. And
that's the Bears. No, the Bears. That's the Bears that do that.
It can be both.
Houston. What happened to Houston? That is a debilitating loss Monday night. You know you don't want to fall to 0-2. Who wants to lose, of course? But at home, in a game where you seemingly give Chubb this opportunity to play hero, and your defense, which, by the way, your offense has sucked all season so far. You hang your hat, D'Amico Ryans, on your defense, and you have an opportunity with Baker Mayfield down in a game where you stop him on 4th and 10, and instead he parts the entirety of that stadium, completely parts like the Red Sea. And there's Baker Mayfield running for 15 yards to put a stamp on his season and put you in a hole at 0-2. So that's another reason to take a look at Indy here, who, by the way, has been close and let Anthony Richardson fuck up the last 2 seasons. And it looks like they're not going to let that happen again. All right, now let's take a look. Survivor pool. Geno, you admittedly say Survivor pool is not your specialty, but I got to give you credit. You took Cincinnati, which, by the way, was the one team I would have told you to avoid week 1. I would have said, no. Cincy starts slow, and they lost 2 seasons ago to the Browns in week 1. And you said, we're going to take a chance. And little did you know that a kicker with no vowels in his name was going to miss an extra point and a 30-yard field goal.
That Schmidt had the Bengals in his survivor pool too, but it's a shame. I can't believe he's a survivor in week 3. Go on,
And so you've won on Cincy, and by the way, let's give credit to the first dynamic kickoff new rule onside kick recovery to Carolina, who made it interesting against Arizona. They made it very interesting against Arizona at the end. But Survivor pool, the beauty of Survivor pool is I don't care about the spread. I don't care about the total. I don't care about the over-under. I care about W and L. And so far in Survivor Pool, we have gone W Cincinnati, Arizona. So now let's take a look. What do you want to do? Week 3 survivor pool. Let's help everybody out there that's still alive through 2 weeks. And by the way, a lot of survivor pools are pissed right now because guess what? A lot of people are still alive. Everyone loves when 1,000 people get knocked out of a survivor pool for something. We haven't had outrageous disasters yet from teams that were favored. What do we like week 3 when we take a look at the slate?
Now, here's the thing. Obviously, Buffalo's a good pick, but I don't want to waste my Buffalo pick on this one yet.
Nice. Okay.
Here's the other thing. Another one I love before I landed on what I'm going to say. Obviously, I like Seattle, but because the Saints are going to be a team you pick on all season, but I'll yield to Colin Cowherd again. They're a desperate team. If the Saints are going to fuck with our bet of them on the under, it's going to be this week with a struggling run game in Seattle. I'll say inconsistent because K9 Walker showed up last week. I'm not going to mess with them, but I'm telling you, I love Tyrod Taylor. He'll be starting for the Jets, but I don't think it's going to matter. Give me the Buccaneers, 1:00 over the Jets, a struggling Jets offense. Tyrod Taylor is just, I love the guy. He's easy to root for, but come on. You got to be kidding if you think I'm going to put money against Baker in that game against that Jets squad that has no identity, and it just got a little thinner with Justin Fields, who, oh my God, Justin Fields, the leader of two. What a mess. I'm so sorry if you're a Jets fan. I'm sorry. Give me the Bucs.
I love that pick, and I want to say one other thing about Seattle. Go and look at Seattle's win-loss record at home last season and this season already. Seattle's home field advantage, 12th man, it's over with. It does not, I would not, every game this season, when you're looking at Seattle and you're considering putting money on them, just remember that home field is not what it used to be in Seattle. It is not. Those Seahawks are not game wreckers at home the way they used to be. They played much better on the road of the last 2 seasons under McDonald than they have at home. Brig, is there anything that you want to say about this week 3?
It's amazing how that's so synchronized, Sam, because I was looking for a way to lead into this, and you just became a great lead off. Amazing. What happened is the Seattle home field advantage left with a man who's on the Raiders sideline now named Pete Carroll. That advantage was gone with him. So I would be saying I would take Washington against Pete Carroll, the former Seahawks coach, this week as a win. I love Washington at home. And I had another one. I was going to break your rule, Sam, and take Green Bay against Cleveland, a non-home team going in on that, because I just think it's the Packers' year in that conference. They have years every so often, the Packers do, where they just run away with things when they spend money, usually like 1996, 2010, and it looks like 2025 with Micah Parsons. So I'd say the Packers, and I would say DC against the old Seattle team. So
I like that a lot. I think that's really interesting. I also want to point to Geno's. Again, I want to make another solid point about the Tampa game. This is also a Todd Bowles revenge game. Remember, Todd Bowles, head coach of the Jets, didn't go very well. Name me the NFC teams over the last 5 seasons that have been to the playoffs every single season. There's one. You know who it is?
Bucs?
Tampa. Tampa's the only team in the NFC to represent themselves in the playoffs for 5 straight seasons. Not the Eagles, not the Niners, not the Packers, not the Lions. It's the Bucs who have been there for 5 seasons in a row looking for number 6. Pretty impressive what Todd Bowles has done.
Credit to Tom Brady, can we? Because that includes his reign there.
It does. You know? It does. But guess what? That was obviously a Super Bowl season. So I love that one. And again, my rule, just to remind everybody, Brig, what I like to do in Survivor Pool, it's good if you can possibly do this. If you can choose a home team in a non-divisional game, that feels nice. If you can do that in Survivor Pool, you're giving yourself a great chance. So I like that you said that, Brig. But let's let everybody know here. I want to show everybody what we're doing this week. All right, let's recap it again. Take a picture of this. Take your $100 and decide where you want to put it. If you want to sprinkle it across everything we're saying here, but this is what we've got. We are over 50% this season. Even when things go wrong a little bit somewhere, we make it up on the back end and we have major futures in play. Remember that. We are looking at an over on Colts victories this season. We are looking at an over on Chargers victories this season. We are looking at an under on Saints victories this season. And right now, you can't be any better than that with 2-0, 2-0, and 0-2. I'm sorry, we just can't be. So for the week, though, and we're all going to be watching these together on Sunday, which is beautiful. Dolphins Bills on Thursday. Geno says, save your $100 for Sunday. Do not fuck around on Thursday night.
You want a little sprinkle? You want a little sprinkle?
Let's go.
that money you were going to put on Thursday night game, I hate to do this to you, Sammy. Put it on the Rams getting 3.5.
Nice.
That line goes
Nice.
I like
That's
the
all right.
Eagles to win. I do. But the Eagles, you said it. Yeah, that was a great pass by Jalen Hurts to Devontae. But you know why you noticed it? Because he's been anemic. And I don't mean anemic, but
no, it's all right.
Their passing game has been rough. And they're becoming a team that just like, let's have Saquon run the ball for 8, and then we'll push 3 times. Let me tell you, if you take the Eagles, you're going to get more than a push in your tush. You're going to get raped in the ass.
That's
sponsored
like
by the federal prison. That's sponsored by Leavenworth. This segment, everyone.
Put 50 on it and forget about it, and then you'll be sitting.
I like that. By the way, they're getting a lot of heat in Philly. Patula is getting a lot of heat. The offensive coordinator in Philly is getting a lot of heat. Obviously, we know Kellen Moore's hanging out with your guys Staley in New Orleans now, but the offense in Philly has not been much. But what they have done over the last 2 seasons, Geno, they want Jalen Hurts to protect the football. They've made that the priority. And by the way, winning games is all that matter. They've clearly done that in the most important spots. And I want to remind everyone, Jalen against the Rams last season, the best play he made against the Rams last season was to to open up that divisional game. Jalen ran for a 50-yard touchdown himself. So just remember that. So,
am I wrong to say this? And I may misremember, because I remember driving back. It was snowing. If it doesn't snow, like that snowstorm, the Rams are going down the field. They're about to take the lead in that game.
But I want to give credit. I also want to give credit to the best defensive player on the Eagles when he's not spitting on the opposing quarterback.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter blew up 2 plays in a row. The 2 biggest plays for the Rams all season was 3rd down and 4th down with a chance to win the game in the divisional against the Eagles. And Jalen Carter blew up both of those plays to put Stafford on his ass on one of them, and then he throws the ball out of bounds. That was it. Sometimes the defensive player makes the biggest difference at the biggest time. So yeah, Rams got close, but didn't. And Saquon Barkley has 4 60-yard touchdown runs against the Rams over the last 2 games.
Wow.
But I like it, Brig.
You can't say enough about the Rams defense in that game, too. They kept him in it that whole afternoon. They ran the Rams defense, very unsung, very underrated. And I want to say this, too. I heard the Kansas City broadcast against the Eagles this past Sunday. I took time to boy, those fucking Kansas City announcers are pissed off about the tush push. They said it was talked about in the offseason. They made it legal. They need to legalize that somehow, some way, just like the Chiefs' karma has been reversed. The Eagles' karma is it goes both ways, as they say in True Romance, Alabama, just like it did for the Crimson. It's going to roll back for somehow they do something against that tush push, because it's not unfair, but it's just popular right now, just like it was giving calls to the Chiefs. So we shall see. We shall see.
Geno remembers the Devils won the Stanley Cup with something that was called the trap. Sometimes the best teams play incredibly ugly, and find a way to muck it up.
God, Bisconte. That's a great call. That was against the 95 Detroit Red Wings.
It was. And the Red Wings were a juggernaut. The Red Wings were a juggernaut coming into that, very Kansas City-like with what Scotty Bowman had, and the Devils found a way to win. Again, it's not always pretty, but they found a way to do it. So
and
with
they
that,
swept them, Sam. They swept them.
It was unbelievable. That was incredible. I'm done. Take a look at this. Thursday night, stay away, save your money to watch and enjoy on Sunday. And then even on Monday, Lions and Ravens, Monday Night Football. Again, credit to ABC, ESPN. They've got the best game of the week. I mean, it may not end up being the best game, but on paper, the best, most exciting and interesting matchup is Monday night, Lions and Ravens. Geno's loving the Ravens minus the 5. He says it's not even going to be a sweat. Sit back and enjoy that one. We took a look at the Chiefs as a potential future to win the AFC, because I want to remind everyone, Patrick Mahomes, when he starts in this league, he finishes in the Super Bowl. That's what his history has been, period. He either loses in overtime in an AFC championship game, or he's in the Super Bowl, and that's it. We took a look at the odds, though, and Geno says, by the way, don't waste your money on plus 700 for the Chiefs, which looks enticing right now. They're not going to get there. Something is a muck. And if you want to have some fun, lay a little bit on Indy, and you're going to have a lot of weeks where you're thinking that's going to cash. So I love that. And your survivor pick for week 3, there's a lot of interesting ones there, and you might be enticed for Thursday to take the Bills. Geno says, save your Bills pick. Save your Bills. Don't take it here against the Dolphins. Save your Bills for later. Tampa is going to rock the Jets, who don't even have Justin Fields. Anything on our way out, boys? Anything we want to say? Geno, I hope we're just smoking cigars on Sunday and hanging out, cashing checks. That's what it should be.
Can't wait. Follow Geno's picks. It's my Rumble page. Can't stress that enough, people. Like, I'm really pleased with these picks. We're looking for a studio. We're always pushing it to people. They are the best thing going next to the two people to my left. You guys are great.
I love it. I love
These
it.
shows keep getting better and better, more and more. And I'm going to be stepping up everything. This is going to be the last. I mean, here, I
love
just
it.
done this the whole fucking time. Here, hang on.
There you go. Brig. Now
Take
you
a
see.
picture of this. All right.
There it is.
Here's
That looks
equality.
great.
Fuck
Very
yeah.
even. I
They
love it.
need to be at a desk in a
We're doing
studio
it. We're
and
making
a
it happen.
Yes,
quarter
absolutely.
building.
Absolutely.
All right, boys. We love it. We'll do it next week. I can't wait to see you. And there we